Well, hello Hannah.
Hey.
Thank you for taking the time this morning to sit and talk with me.
Of course.
Getting straight into it, I know when we first met as roommates, you told me that you have ADD, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Focusing on your experiences with ADD, what impact has it had in your functionality?
So the main area I see it impacting me is in academics. Starting in elementary school, I mean, it was in 4th grade that we discovered it, and I took longer to understand material, longer to finish tests. And so we got me on a patch that I would wear because I couldn't swallow pills at that time. And then when I was able to swallow pills, we put me on some medications. Had to go through a couple to find the right ones. But I mainly saw in my academic area when I progressed to middle school and high school is when it really started to get a lot harder. In middle school, I was always the last to finish our math tests, and that was rough for me. I remember doing a standardized test one day, and I was getting so much anxiety about finishing the math portion that I actually had a breakdown in class. And so in high school, it got a little easier because I started getting, the medication I was on at the time it really helped with my anxiety about school. So when I was on it, I felt a lot less anxious about academics, and I was able to just go in there and really just put in all my effort and know that I did my best. Whereas off of it, I'm just like, would I really do well? No. But yeah, mainly academics.
So with your ADD, how do you think it has impacted your ability to form and manage relationships?
I don't see negative effects on relationships for mine. It's interesting. I see it, I can get distracted and off topic sometimes when I'm talking with people, or if I'm in groups and we're all talking and doing one thing, and then all of a sudden I'm like on my phone or doing something else. It's not because I'm not wanting to pay attention, not wanting to be there. It's the ADD coming in.
Yeah.
But of course, a lot of people don't know that, so that it looks like you're being rude. So that's the smallest thing. Other than that, it hasn't kept me from forming meaningful relationships.
So in those areas, what are your main coping mechanisms?
I'm still figuring it out, actually. Trying to just be more aware of it. I have friends that'll tease, Hannah, if you're going to be here, be here. And I'm like, okay, you're right, I'll put this down. So that's what I have right now. I'm still kind of figuring it out.
Okay. So switching to another topic, what are you currently studying in college?
I am studying speech pathology and audiology.
So what drove you to want to study speech pathology?
My brother has a hearing loss.
Okay.
He was diagnosed at 4 years old. He has worn hearing aids ever since. And I have accompanied him to many hearing tests. Seeing how those worked it was really interesting to me how, they push one button on the audiometer and then, they hear the sound and they raise their hands, and then, they have all these tests that just ran, and they were so interesting to me. And when I found out that there's also an area where you can do speech therapy, I wanted to look more into that too. And still, I haven't decided which route I'm taking because I like them both a lot. But yeah, that's why.
So with studying that, what would be your main goal or purpose?
My purpose would be to serve people, to hear what they are struggling with, and to help them find ways to communicate effectively again.
Okay. So, taken together, you have ADD and you're studying speech pathology, and what's the other one? Audiology. Have you ever considered or studied the interplay of the two topics?
Actually, so in speech therapy, we cover one of the many disabilities that we cover are learning disabilities, and that includes ADHD and ADD. When it comes to communication, I'm still learning about where the communication aspect comes in for that, or I should say the language aspect of that. But that is fit into its own category in what we treat, and that includes, our learning disabilities include ADD, ADHD, dyslexia, dysgraphia, anything that can negatively impact a student's learning.
Okay, so in looking at those two topics combined together, what findings have you discovered?
I'm still looking. I haven't really found anything worth sharing yet. I have to do more research on that.
Okay, so going into the hypothetical here, what would you expect to find looking at the interplay of those two topics if you were working with an individual that had a hearing impairment or needed speech pathology and they had ADD or ADHD?
So I don't know much about ADD, but for ADHD, you'll see a lot of moving around of the clients because they can't sit still for so long. You're going to have to really work around and make sure that you're keeping your activities engaging and keeping the client active, because if they're just sitting still like we are right now, they're not going to want to focus and they're not going to be motivated. They're going to need movement and a lot of flexibility. You're going to have to really work around what they need. Yeah.
So with that in mind, what techniques or strategies would you like to work with or use in your speech pathology and audiology if you were working with a client with ADD?
If I was working with a client with either of these two disorders, I would personally choose an activity that involves some tactile learning, some objects that they can touch or feel, maybe some movement, like if they can do some jumping jacks while they're saying their exercises or some other movements that can help them. Tactile, visual, just get them active.
Okay, have you ever considered speech therapy with people with ADD and ADHD that utilizes foods?
We have actually. When we use food in our sessions, it's usually when we're treating children with articulation disorders, which is different. The food helps because they can get an idea of how wide they need to open their mouths when they speak, where their tongue needs to be. That food is the purpose of food is more for motor-based or articulation disorders. I don't know exactly how food would play into.
Okay, I just thought that would be an interesting question.
Right, yeah.
Well, I don't have any other questions,
Okay.
but thank you so much for your time and talking about your experience with ADD, speech pathology, and audiology, and how those two work together. I appreciate it, Hannah.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good day.
You as well.